Hi, welcome to Comics and Cleats, the first podcast that the MCE, or Minnesota Comic Exchange, and Noggin Comics will be doing weekly. If you watch the channel, you know who I am, but I want to introduce the two people who are next to me, Chris Anderson and John Palm. Fellas, introduce yourselves.
You go ahead, John.
Where should I begin, Kyle? Collector on Instagram as Jedi Collects. I've been collecting for years now. Kyle asked me to come on, join the show, kind of go over some of the different comics and our fantasy draft and what we think is going to happen with the football season this year.
Very nice.
I'll hand it off to Chris.
Most of you guys know me. I'm Chris. Here to get fantasy football on and talk some trash and get weird and keep Kyle in line. It's my job here.
I'm not that bad. All right. So yeah, for those who know, we've had a fantasy now for 3 years. This is the third year, right?
Yeah, I actually still have the trophy from year one that winner gave back to me. They're like, "We don't want this." I don't blame you. No one wants this.
It was a slab, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Oh man, the first Robin King, I think, 1 of 25. I sent it in, and it was 9.8 that came back, like mangled on the inside, and sent it back for correction. I think they came out at like 9.0. It was a horrible experience, really. Documented on the group page probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Yeah,
because it was at the beginning.
Yeah.
I remember, was it last year where Zappo and I picked those comics and Jason was like, but they're coming back to me.
He didn't even want to win them.
Yeah. So John, last year we actually Chris Zappo and I, we grabbed the winnings at Issues Needed while Jason was playing.
Yeah.
So Jason won his own crap back.
Really?
Works out.
How does that work?
Well, he didn't want them. So before we hop into the football side of stuff, we're a comic page or a comic group. Is there anything that you've picked up recently that you want to talk about?
Oh, so what I just posted yesterday. I don't know if you've seen this one, the Wiz Comics one.
Yeah,
very nice.
So like this one, I absolutely freaking love, and I got for I think a steal on eBay.
Tilt that forward.
What's that?
Put that back up, but tilt it forward.
Here, hold on one
That's
side.
the secret.
Is that better?
Yes, very nice.
Captain Marvel judges the ugly beauty contest. I was like, this is awesome. But yeah, I recently grabbed this. Kyle, as you know, I'm a nut for the old school Captain Marvel. Yeah, so when I seen that, and guys, like this was a fantastic price. It was a very good condition. I was like, I gotta grab it. So probably shouldn't have, but it's one of those comics where you're like, I gotta get it now. If I don't, I'll regret it, for the next 10 years. So ended up grabbing that one. Aside from that, as you guys know, I've been sick for a while, so I haven't been at the comic shop, but that was probably the last one I got. So yeah.
Well, as you can tell, you're feeling better, yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, we should give it a quick shout out though. Isn't there a couple sales happening this weekend too? Like Brothers Grimm is having their sale. I don't know if you heard about this, but on Saturday they're having a huge sale.
Yeah, St. Paul, I believe.
Yep. So you showed that comic and I saw about that.
Eclair Comic-Con put on by the guys out there. Chris out there. Fellow Chris.
The other Chris. The comic community is just filled with Chris's.
There's a lot of Chris's. A lot of Johns.
So there's not many Kyles because
there's really not.
There's not. Chris, you bought anything recently?
bought Shauna the She-Devil
Yeah.
from Nerd Out's live sale the other day. Scrolling, and I saw it, so I hopped in. That was the next book up. I was like, "Well, what a coincidence! I've been looking for that for a while."
Claim.
Yeah, claimed it and stuck around for a little bit.
No, I've been taking. You guys know I've took a little break from comics. Just to get out of things. Been reading more football books to get back into football. But recently been reading because of John. Been reading Conan recently. That letter sucks. But it's a good read. Titan is doing it now, better than Marvel's.
Yes.
The artwork is phenomenal. And then before we went live, we had a little discussion on how ugly Frank Miller's covers are right now. I've been enjoying this series, but the covers for Frank Miller's have been disgusting.
Again, like we were talking about, before we went live, it looks like he graduated from 3rd grade art class. What happened? Like, I look at Wolverine 1 and I look at that, and I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, seriously, like I don't know if like he's going on like a different track as far as like his artwork. I know it's been kind of discussion in the community as of late, but dude, some of those covers are just gross. You're like, what the hell, dude? So that's my take. Some people actually dig it. Some people love these covers, but for me, it's like, what happened? Yeah. So I don't know if he's trying to have a new style going on. I don't know, but I'm not digging that new style.
You have an opinion? You have an opinion, Chris?
I don't know if it's that bad, in my opinion, but definitely not like the biggest fan of it right now.
I mean, this is probably the best cover he's had so far. This one.
Yeah, the Wolverine one was really bad.
His Wolverine one was pretty bad. I think he's got a Ghost Rider one coming out too. That doesn't look that bad, but the compact, the compact blocked characters just don't seem to work well right now. So this is the draft recap. We're gonna go through our draft pick, and then we're gonna go through our drafts, and we're gonna go through our matchups of the week. Everybody in this league is a member of the Minnesota Comic Exchange. So I got the first overall pick this season. Nora and I got the first overall pick.
Collusion.
Yeah, they were screaming collusion at the draft, but it was necessary. I needed the first pick.
That's a league reference from the show The League.
Yep. Well, who's Taco here? So
John.
No,
not you, John.
Not you. So
Johnny's got to play the guitar though. Come up with some better songs.
Can you guys see the draft recap right here?
Yeah.
All right. So we're just gonna go through the first couple rounds here of what we were thinking when we made these picks. Number one, I had that first overall pick. I had to go with Justin Jefferson. It seemed like it was an obvious pick at number one. We got Jordan Addison with the Vikings, but who else he's against throw the ball to besides Addison and Hockenson? So that's why I went JJ. Chris, you had the ace pick, and you drafted Devontae Adams.
Solid number one wide receiver.
Jimmy G as his QB? Oh.
Yeah, Jimmy G will be all right. 20 points this year. I mean, if Kirk Cousins can throw to Justin Jefferson, Jimmy G is going to be just fine. It's going to be all righty. Jimmy G has a winning pedigree to a point in the playoffs.
Got a point.
So,
I mean,
be all right.
Devontae is consistent too. So.
That's true.
Talking about consistency, but has a little bit of an attitude. You went number 12 as Stephon Diggs, John.
Mm-hmm. He's still gonna get the ball from Allen. I still think he will, even though he's Diggs, right? He's gonna, bitch and complain, but I think at the end of the day, he's still gonna get his catches. So I mean, it was either, it was either gonna be him or CD, and I just went with both of them.
Doubled up. So
yeah. So I mean, I was looking at Garrett Wilson, but I was like, I think he'll probably drop a little bit in the second round, and then he went pretty quickly actually in the second round. 2 picks later actually. But at the time, I was looking, I'm like, there's no running backs I can grab right now that have the same value as Diggs and Lamb. So I was like, I'm gonna grab those 2.
Well,
Jason.
What's that?
I feel bad for Jason this week. Travis
Kelce.
Yeah, Kelce. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we stopped off at Issues Needed yesterday. And that's the first thing I said to Jason. I'm like, Kelsey's going to be out, man. Sorry. But that does kind of impact you, Chris, because in the second round, you picked Mahomes.
It's all right. He'll be all right.
Who do you think he's going to throw to today? Do you think he's going to throw to Sky Moore?
Run it, dude. He's just going to run it. He's going to wild card it.
I'll be shocked. I mean, the dude can scramble, but I don't think he's going to be scoring you so many points on the ground.
Yeah, he may not be getting 30. And they think he's going to get 34 points tonight.
What?
Well, okay. The way we scored, the league is very heavy on points. This league.
Okay.
So for those watching, this is a PPR league. I mean, for me, that's standard. I think that every league should be PPR or at least half PPR. I have a work league that is straight touchdowns, and that's it basically.
That's
so you're drafting quarterbacks in that first round. So talking about PPR, that's why when it's Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think he's gonna have the best game tonight. Any fantasy player. He's a PPR machine. He's gonna be all over the field with Detroit. And that's why I followed up with Jalen Hurts. I know we have another fantasy league for the MCE, the Yahoo League, and before we went on live, we were talking about our quarterback situation, and John does not like his quarterback situation from Yahoo League.
Mm-hmm.
You have Daniel Jones and Sam Howell.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is why I had to draft QBs early in this draft. It was like I seen what happened to you in that league. I'm like, QBs, man. So,
and that's what I was anticipating this draft to be the kind of the same way. I mean, you look right there in the third, fourth round, even the second round QBs that were going. I was a little bit shocked that how many went so quickly early on, and then by the time before I knew it, I'm like, crap, like I'm gonna have to roll the dice with hopefully Russell Wilson has a bounce back year.
Oh yeah, you think?
What's up?
You went, yeah. You got Daniel Jones again in the ninth.
Yep, 9, 10. I took those 2 guys because before that, I'm like, okay, I need running backs because also too, if you look, what was it round 3? All the running backs that went. Look at that, all right before me.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, shit. I'm like, I need running backs because the first 2 picks were my wide receivers. And then all of a sudden, the running backs started flying off the board too.
Well, you picked Aaron Jones as your running back, Chris.
Yeah, I did.
I honestly think that's a great pick. I mean, I don't think Green Bay's been throwing that ball that much with Jordan Love. They're gonna keep it on the ground as Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. So I am shocked though that you picked Williams though as your running back.
I am rolling the dice with that one. Either he's gonna be a boom or a bust. I was reading something today saying that he actually might have a huge breakout this weekend. So I'm like, okay, because initially I was gonna sit him, and I was gonna, play KC's back. But then I was thinking, I'm like, okay, McKinnon's gonna probably be sharing carries with him. So I'm like, do I roll the dice with him or do I keep Williams in? And so what I'm hoping is that Williams will be hopefully Kamara for Sean Payton with Denver.
That's a good point.
We'll see.
And then you picked up Mattinson too, which, I mean, he's going to be a number one back here.
Yep.
I do like the fact that we did pick up Myles Gaskin, though. I think that's a great pickup for at least for our running backs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Mattison's going to be able to continue all that for 17 games.
No, I'm thinking that probably my thinking was he'll probably get a lot of the goal line carries, but they're going to probably split some of the carries with him and Ty Chandler.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Or they could have, a 3-back committee. I don't know, but it's too early. I still think he'll get those goal line carries, hopefully. We'll see.
Well, let's just look at your matchup right now.
You want to look at his matchup?
Yeah, John Palms. You gotta fight against Maurice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I know I do.
Down 3. You got a up on flat or no wide receiver 2. He wins wide receiver 1.
Yeah, so it doesn't show the projections on right here, but it does show the matchups that you have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, he's projected. John's supposed to get 124.6, and Maurice is coming in at 127.
127. Yeah,
that's extremely close, though. That's a close game. I don't want to throw Dustin under the bus here, but if you do look at my projections, we're supposed to annihilate Dustin. So,
we will look at yours, sir.
So we were 11-point favorites, and
yeah, let's go through this. I play first of all the final standing projections.
Number 1.
Yeah.
You're number 2.
You guys are number 1, which that says something because you drafted number 1 and I drafted 8.
Yeah.
And then Johnny this is John Palm, everybody.
So Palm. Yeah, we have 2 Johns in this league.
And so Johnny's in last place, you're in first, we're all in between. I played Johnny this week. I'm projected to win by
15.
15.
Yeah. And I mean, you look at the matchups here. Mahomes, Rodgers, Mahomes is going to destroy Detroit's defense.
Yeah, Buffalo's
defense.
You could just call John Kennelly. Sorry. Yeah, Johnny, you're now Kennelly.
Hey, I call him Kennelly because I know so many Johns, and I just call every John by the last name now. I have Aaron Rodgers in our Yahoo league with Jordan Love backing him up, because if you look at projections, it's almost the same fantasy wise that Jordan Love and Rodgers are having similar games this week because of playing against Buffalo.
What's Johnny going to do for wide receivers when Seattle's on bye week?
Ooh,
Kennelly.
Kennelly has Michael Pittman, Tyler Boyd, and Zay Jones.
I don't like that. I don't like those odds.
Kennelly, if you're watching, you should leave a comment to tell us what you were thinking with this draft. Because, yes, I think Tyler Lockett is great for PPR. DK Metcalf is a great receiver, but to have both of them on the same team, one's not going to do well over the other. And then you're looking at Michael Pittman, who is number 1 for Indianapolis, but what is Richardson going to do?
It's not going to be good.
And then Zay Jones. I mean, Zay Jones hasn't been proven yet. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is a great QB, but Zay Jones really hasn't proven himself as a number 1 receiver.
Right. I don't know how he fixes it. I can't when I pretend I'm controlling his roster. I made one change. I put in Higbee over
Njoku.
Yeah, Njoku, because there was a couple of points difference there.
If Cooper Kupp's out, and I think Higbee's going to be a great play for that.
And as you said, you're up by 11, and you can always be up more points.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a good thing.
We'll go back to your team soon, John, but I do like your receiver situation that you have, Chris. Devontae Adams, Deebo Samuel, Chris Godwin, OBJ, and Adam Thielen on the bench.
All right, you got some old crazy guy, got a old slow guy.
Then you have the rookie in Mingo.
Yeah.
So you have a very wide situation for your receiving core.
Carolina's kind of iffy for quarterback. I think it's going to end up being Dalton, though. Isn't he back up over there, Andy Dalton?
For Carolina?
Yeah, who's Carolina?
Bryce Young, the new rookie.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, but say it doesn't pan out. Who's the guy behind him?
I don't think it's Don. Is it Don?
Look.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, you having Geno as your backup to Mahomes. Dude, Geno could be a starting QB on any of these rosters too. Like, I think I would play Geno over Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, wait, no. Baker Mayfield starting quarterback.
For the Rams?
Carolina Panthers, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Carolina. No. Baker is Tampa Bay now.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yep.
He played for Carolina last year.
Oh, yeah, that was an old article. Who cares? I don't have much faith in rookies.
I think Carolina's going to have a bad year. Not as bad as Arizona, but they're going to have a pretty bad year this year.
Well, they're tanking.
So, yeah. So, we were going to, by the time we're done with this live stream, we're going to be talking about each individual matchup and who we're picking to win. And in the comment section, go answer this. Let us know who you think's going to win too.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah.
Mike Seberg wants to know, can only members of the MCE Facebook group read the comments during the live stream? It's a great question, Mike.
That's a great question. I'm not seeing any of the questions right now.
Well, what I did is I shared the video from the page to the group.
Okay. I see Jericho at 13 minutes ago. Comment.
Yeah.
So
that's just one.
This was a Facebook comment.
All right.
So I believe Mike's comment can only be seen in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
But on StreamYard, I believe you can click into StreamYard. Is that how Jericho commented?
He commented on, it looks like on the main page.
On the main page, yeah. I'll join this chat. Connect. Oh, I got to connect YouTube to that. Not doing it.
So, being our first live stream on this, there's going to be hiccups.
Yeah, this is testing too.
Going forward, we're going to try the MCE main page, and I'm going to try to do the group next time. So
sounds good.
So to answer Mark's question, it's just in the group right now. But this should be able to be viewed at any time in the chat and the group. So, and on the YouTube channel. You can see it anytime there too. Oh. Chris, I feel like you're gonna be acting as like the manager or stuff right now. So the producer. So
right.
All right, John, we're gonna hop on to your matchup. Well, first, who we got? You got Chris or John in this? You're looking at you're looking at. You think you got Chris here?
I'm thinking Chris on this one. Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, Kennelly, but I gotta go with Chris too. So.
Aaron Rodgers would have to have like quite a peyote or mescaline trip to make up the point difference there in that 14 points, because I don't think it's coming from anywhere else really.
To be honest, John and I have talked quite a bit how we think Rodgers is going to have a good year.
Oh, he will.
But against Buffalo, not against Buffalo.
No.
And in the Yahoo League, I have to start Aaron. I'm not going to start Jordan Love against Chicago. So So, the three of us, and where's Kennelly? Jericho just asked. Well, Kennelly said he's gonna make it next week to the live stream. All right, so we're gonna hop over to John and Maurice. Let's break down the lineups as John's like sitting there with his face like, I can't look at this team right now.
It's not that bad, guys. Come on.
Russell Wilson against Josh Allen. Allen's facing the Jets defense. The Jets defense is actually really good. Russell Wilson's facing the Raiders. We don't know if the Raiders defense is going to be that good, especially with all the drama with Chandler Jones right now.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I still think that Allen's going to have a better game than Wilson.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Ramondre against Mattinson. That could be a toss-up. Ramondre's got the receptions on his side here. But he's also got Zeke to steal the goal line carries. Mm-hmm. So you essentially have the touchdowns with Mattinson here. Now, I think this is the one-sided thing. I think James Conner is better than Rashid Wright right now. I don't think Wright's been proven. So, how do you feel about that, John?
Again, I'm rolling the dice with him.
All right.
A lot of these guys I'm rolling the dice with, except for Diggs and CD.
And Fairmouth. I think Pat Fairmouth is going to be a good tight end for you too. Consistent.
I think he is too. I think he's going to be solid.
I think that Kenny Pickett came out towards the end of the year last year, and he was consistent. I think he's actually going to be a great QB this year.
Yeah, and he has good chemistry with him too. So,
but you're only 2.5 points down.
Kennelly wants in.
Kennelly, if you go to the MCE chat.
Nope. I got it.
You got it? All right.
There you go, man. Isn't Chris Hockey a producer? I got to be better than that guy. I'm not going to sing you songs and be annoying.
So, yeah, and okay, going forward, Chris is probably most likely going to be the producer. I'll be the host. John might be the co-host. So, Dustin, I don't mean to talk shit about your team, but we're going to get there soon.
I got like 5 screens up right now, just so you guys know. It's getting crazy here.
I've got. I'm only working on an iMac right now, so. All right.
Oh man, dude, this guy's about to get destroyed tonight by Patty.
Johnny's in the building. How's it going, everyone?
How you doing, Johnny?
Doing good.
Johnny,
doing good. Have I met who? No, the other John. I have not. I've not met this glorious guy whose name is also John.
So right now we're going through his matchup against Maurice.
Okay.
He's only a 2.5 point underdog in this matchup.
So you got Josh Allen versus Russell Wilson. That's going to be the biggest factor in this game right off the top between these two. Is are we going to get last year's Russell Wilson, or are we going to get past, borderline MVP Russell Wilson? Yep. You get borderline MVP Russell Wilson. He goes out there strong week 1, throws 4 tuds. You're probably not going to win this matchup. But if he goes out there, continues to struggle, throws a couple interceptions, I mean, that's really the difference, I think, where this matchup's going to go.
Yep.
Looking down at this, defensively, they're pretty equal. The only other thing I'm not really excited about is, they got Cam Elklers there at flex. I think that's a risky move. I think you've got to give him a couple of weeks before you try to put him on the starting lineup. I'm really not last year, I mean, he was supposed to come back and be really good, and he kind of sucked. At least in fantasy, he was pretty bad.
So we're looking at Maurice's team right now, and Maurice doesn't have any running back on the bench. He only has Cam Akers at the flex.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a flex position, so it don't matter. You can put whoever you want in there. I mean, go double tight ends. I mean, who do you have as your backup tight end?
So
I'm looking at it on my phone, so I can't quite read it.
Oh, yeah, this is John. John's got Russell Wilson as his starting QB. And I think honestly with Sean Payton as a head coach there, and with him focusing more on being a football player, I think Wilson's going to have a great year. He can bounce back.
I hope so. That's what I'm hoping.
No, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I think that's going to be a big factor in this lineup. The other factor is the fact that Gotham City Knights has Cam Eklers. He's not going to perform. He's going to have. I mean, he's probably going to get like 5.5 points. He's probably going to underperform pretty hard on that flex position for Gotham City there. That's probably. I think that's if your flex position can outperform the other position, John. I think those are the two biggest, I think, areas where you're going to have the opportunity. I think you're definitely going to outperform him on flex, and then it's a matter of what version of Russell Wilson are we going to get? Because if we get last year's Russell Wilson, you got no chance, right? Like he goes out there and throws 10 points worth of points. I mean, that's just it, you know.
What was that, Chris?
Do we have a boiled chicken graphic?
That's a boiled chicken right there. Like if you get Russell Wilson from last year, that's boiled chicken. You're done.
Well, before we hop into my matchup, now that John, now that you're here, I want you to defend this projection of losing by 15.
I don't think I'm going to lose by 15. I think I'm going to win by probably 20. I think the biggest factor is
Jordan just fell
I think I've got I don't know, I feel it in the bones. I think it's just I just feel it.
Rodgers' season prospects. Will he get the boiled chicken award this year?
There is now, as of this moment, a boiled chicken award. It's kind of like the Shacked and a Fool award.
I think the person who's going to get the boiled chicken award this year, honestly, I think it could be, regrettably, Derek Carr, just because I think he's going into a very similar situation that Russell Wilson went into last year, where you're combining a new coach with a new quarterback with different weapons. There's so many changes being taken place that you have to have some cohesion to play well. You have to know what each other are doing, and I think Derek Carr, I think he's going to lay an egg. I think, unfortunately, in New Orleans. If I was going to give that, but no, I think I think Aaron Rodgers, though, honestly, it's a revenge season, so he's got that going for him. He's got a talented wide receiver core. He's not leaving Green Bay because of suspected performance problems. Like, nobody was thinking oh, this guy don't have it anymore, when he was it was all just personal business nonsense. I mean, there's nothing on the boards telling you he doesn't have it anymore. I mean, just the 2 seasons ago, he was the back-to-back MVP. So I think he's going to return to form. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a top 2 candidate for MVP again this year. I mean, that's honestly what I think is going to happen.
He's in better shape than Peyton Manning at the same age. So,
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is in hella good shape. I mean, I wouldn't say he looks the best he's ever looked at this point, but he looks really good. And I just think that There's nothing on paper that tells me that makes me think they say, nah, he's gonna have a bad season.
So one thing that we were talking about before you hopped on too is you having DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett as your starting receivers.
Yep.
Now, not this game, but going forward, how are you going to manage
bye weeks?
Bye week. I mean, all I'm going to do with bye week is just take the L. I mean, that's just whatever. I don't care. I mean, I'll probably take the L on that, but I mean, historically, these two have been a really good tandem for fantasy. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's like when I was drafting and I had Tyler Lockett on the board, yeah, there were people that were positioned higher or projected for more, but Tyler Lockett hasn't had less than 1,000. I mean, he's going on, I think if he has another one this year, I think he's projected for like 6 straight 1,000+ receiving year. Potentially double-digit tight end touchdowns again. So Geno Smith just broke the record last year for passing yards, and the offensive line's only improved. Our running back core is younger, healthier, which will take pressure off of the pass rush. So I have no reason to think that I can't have both. They're both going to be really great. They're at different times they've been in top 5 fantasy in different leagues, formats. So I think I could have gone with a more flashy player than Tyler with a little bit more upside. Like, I think when I picked him, I think CeeDee Lamb might have been available, but I just don't know if the problem with that is, if they take Derek Carr out, are they going to be able to maintain any offensive production? And I think I'm worried about Dallas, halfway through the year, just fucking deciding to give up and just getting rid of Dak. So, I mean, that's the problem for me is, like, it's not just like who the wide receiver is. It's like who's throwing them the ball. And I trust the guy throwing them the ball more than a couple other different people that I could have had. So
Nora just commented, let me break in on this.
Chris has Mahomes. Well, I think Mahomes is going to have week 1 jitters. He's not a seasoned vet like Aaron Rodgers.
Week 1 jitters? What?
I actually almost sent a trade to you and Nora the other day, but I didn't. Oh. I was like, they may take it. I was like, I don't want to lose.
I mean, I think really the biggest difference for me and Chris's lineup on what could happen is I really like my running backs more than his. I don't know what we're going to see out of Aaron Jones's production with Jordan Love there, because are they going to, is the defense thinking, okay, we got basically a rookie quarterback. Are we just going to stack the box, just collapse everything around him, make him be, thinking everyone's coming at him the whole time. And when you're doing that, you're making it harder to run. So that's part of it. And then,
but your team can't have, the Seahawks cannot have a bad day for you to even be competitive. Like,
I don't care.
Because everyone, if Cooks,
it's DK Metcalf, man. He's Megatron 2.0. He's gonna get his.
He's gonna get
and Tyler Lockett. And at the end of the day, they might throw in Tyler Lockett and some punt returns and stuff. Just give me some extra points there.
So I'm gonna pivot real quick. We're going through our matchups, but I also want to go through the whole league. So I'm gonna start off because since Jericho's watching, let's talk about Jericho's team against Joe Courtney here. Joe Burrow against Justin Herbert. Who do we got there?
Joey B every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was one. I mean, when I had him last year, I think he was the leading fantasy quarterback. Or the year he went to the Super Bowl. I had him both years. So, I mean, he's top 3 quarterback in the league.
Saquon against Eckler. Who we got there?
Saquon, unless he gets injured.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Jacobs against Penny. I think that's Jacobs too.
Yep.
No, I'm gonna go with Penny on that one. I mean, the thing about it is, you have a situation because you're talking about Jacobs out of Arizona, right?
Jacobs out of
things are gonna be awkward at work next week.
Vegas.
Oh, Vegas. Oh, sorry. Yes.
No, we lost him.
Do we lose John?
Or he froze.
He froze.
John's here in spirit now.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why I froze there. No, Josh Jacobs out of Las Vegas, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
no, go with him.
Because he signed that contract, he's going to be hungry.
Hopefully.
Keenan Allen against T. Higgins. That could be a toss-up, in my opinion. I think both are great receivers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to go with T. Higgins on that one.
I think Higgins too. Devontae Smith against McLaurin. I think QB situation. I think Smith might have a better heads up there. So
I would agree with your take on that. I think Washington's going to be struggling pretty hard this year, and I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be pretty tough for McLaurin.
So now that we've gone through we just went through that because the tight end situation. Kyle Pitts, he's been underwhelming for the last couple of years. So if we had to talk about who's going to win this matchup, Jericho's 9-point favorite. Would you go with Jericho over Joe here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny, you can go with Jericho over Joe?
Who's the kicker?
Jake Elliott for Philly, and Jake Elliott's on Jericho's team, and Graham Gano is on Joe's team.
I mean, I think it's close. This is one of the matchups that I think it's going to come down to a couple handful of points. I don't think this one's going to be a blowout. And for that, I think Gano is just a little bit better of a kicker, so I'm going to have to go with the Gano.
Hey, they got Kirk Cousins, who's riding Joe Courtney's bench, right? They got Kirk Cousins for 22.2 this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not good for your guy, because here's why. You drafted Justin Jefferson at the number 1 overall pick, and he's projected to get 20.9. Little old Devontae Adams over here, 8th pick, 20.0. It's not a big difference.
Well, I think we all decided that we think that Jericho's going to take this one.
Oh yeah.
Another thing with Devontae Adams though is I think he's going to take a dip earlier in the year because I don't know how trusting the coaches over there are going to have with Jimmy G throwing the deep ball.
So
unless he just takes like 5-yard slot routes like the whole damn time, the whole game, gets like 20 catches a game or something.
We were talking about that, and I mean Jimmy G, Derek Carr. I think Derek's a better QB than Jimmy.
Derek Carr is twice as good as Jimmy G. Derek Carr is a deep ball. He can hit a guy 30, 40, 50 yards downfield. Jimmy G can't.
So let's hop into this next game. This is Jordan against Austin. Jordan's the commissioner of this league, and he had the number 2 pick. I know you guys are saying collusion still, but this is the most interesting game here because they're projected to tie.
I mean, Savage Avengers, I have to give it to them just because they've got Sunshine.
Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm. They got Sunshine. And they're going to have Christian McCaffrey week 1, which is probably going to be his best week. Because every week after that, you're just waiting for him to tear his ACL. But week 1, he's still good. So I'm going to have to give it to Savage Vendors, to be honest. Justin Fields is going to stink it up. He's not going to put up very good points. I think he's going to put up like 12, 13 points.
Yeah, I'm looking at Austin's team.
Who's his backup?
Austin, he's got 2 backups. He's got he's got 1 backup. He's got Matt Stafford.
Oh,
yeah,
as his backup. Oh, yeah, he's got 1 backup. And then this is what I seen. Anthony Richardson is a backup for Jordan for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
I like this matchup. I'm probably watching this matchup the most outside of mine. Just because like you have Tyreek Hill on one and Jalen Waddle on the other. Yeah, so who's that ball? I mean, Tyreek's gonna have a great year, but so is Jalen Waddle. And I think at the end of the year, these two teams might be in a similar situation.
The only kind of negative thing I would say about the 2 teams in terms of what could long
term
really stake it up for Jordan is that he's got Darren Waller. I think Darren Waller is a great tight end, but he has maybe the bottom 3 quarterback in the league throwing him the ball. Dan Jones.
You're talking about John Palm's QB right now.
Yeah, man, come on.
Darren Waller's terrible. Darren Waller's great, but Daniel Jones stinks. Like, he's going to be gone probably at the end of this season or halfway through next after he gets another coach fired and they have another GM switch or something. I mean, you can't put up the below average numbers he puts up and pretend you're worth the money that they just gave him. I don't know who had an aneurysm or who didn't take accounting or something over there, but New York is just put their franchise. I mean, it's so crazy because normally, like, if this was like 15 years ago and New York made this move, we would say they just put their franchise back 15 years, right? Because it's going to take that long to dig out. But the thing is like Washington, they're dead in the water, and they have been for the last 5 years. Probably going to be dead in the water for the next 5 years. Cowboys, they look like they're always going to win the Super Bowl, but they can't ever get anything done. And then, Philly's just too far ahead that we shouldn't consider them. But normally we would say like them making a move like this would put them back 15 years, but really it just keeps them open for second place because that's how bad the other 2 teams in this division are. But I mean, that's how sad it is.
So are you saying that in this game, and not the long term, but this game, who do you have?
I like Savage Avengers overall, but Darren Waller, if it comes down to a close game, where it's within, 4 points or something, Darren Waller could be the negative X factor that brings this team down, unfortunately, because I think he's probably a tight end that's probably going to average like 7.5, 8 points a game, maybe. I don't think he's going to break double digits very often.
I actually have Darren Waller in our Yahoo League.
All right, Johnny. If Daniel does good this year, we're gonna make sure that we get you a poster of his to hang up in the house.
If Daniel Jones, I'm at the point where I'd be amazed if Daniel Jones just has his job at the end of the year. Like if he still is there, that'll be a successful season for him.
So I'm gonna go down the line. Chris, who do you got in this game? Jordan or Austin?
Hold on.
With it being an even tie, it's going to be difficult to pick.
I'm going to make Jordan angry. I'm going with the team that has Hill.
You going with Austin?
Yeah.
John?
I'm going with Jordan.
Johnny?
Honestly, I mean, it's tight because I think this is gonna, like it says, it's a virtual tie for this one. I think that it's a matter of Daniel Jones for me and how well Daniel Waller is going to perform. So even though I don't like Justin Fields as a starter, I think I'm going to have to go with Austin just because I think in a really tight game, having a player where, you know, he's projected for X amount of points, he's probably going to get quite a bit less out of Darren Waller, unfortunately.
Let me ask you guys a question. If it goes down how it lies, and I know they can't see it, but it's pretty solid even at every matchup except Waddle versus Hill. But which defense do you have more faith in is my question. That's what it comes down to.
Cowboys. It's not.
No way. Jacksonville for me. I think the biggest chance of a 0 or a negative score in this matchup, just these two playing, is Dallas.
Who's Jacksonville playing?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis has got weapons. They've got a hot new running quarterback. I think they've got some meat on them. Like I said, Cowboys, they're playing the New York Giants. They're playing, in my opinion, a bottom 3 quarterback in the league. They've got a hot defense that knows how to pick off the ball. They know how to they know how to get turnovers over there in Dallas. So I have to go with Dallas. I mean, not that I think they're the greatest defense out there, but versus that matchup, I don't have any faith in Daniel Jones. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
So I think, Jordan, I'm sorry, I have to go with Austin here too. I think Austin's going to win this, and it's because of Gibbs. I think Gibbs, with Chris Jones being out, may have a good game. All right. Now, Jason, issues needed against Chris Zappo.
The Trash Pandas.
The Trash Pandas, probably the best name in our league. He's got Chris Zappo's got Lamar. Jason's got Dak. I think that's got to go to Lamar.
Mm-mm.
I mean, these two teams couldn't be any different from each other, to be honest.
I'm actually, hey, Zappo, if you're watching, I think you've got a hell of a team this year. So, maybe the Delvin Cook pickup. I mean, Delvin's not going to be the starter. I think that's going to be a running back committee with Bryce Hall.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, it comes down it's one of those injury players. You know, can George Kittle stay healthy for the year? Is he going to get his production out of George Kittle? You know, Cole Kmet, excuse me. I mean, I wouldn't start a tight end out of Chicago just because Justin Fields doesn't throw the ball very well. So I'm kind of questioning that starting decision.
Actually, no. So he had Travis Kelce as his tight end. That's why he had to start Cole Kmet.
Okay. All right. That makes sense then for that reason. I'd try to get on the waiver wire as soon as possible, though.
Well, actually, when we're having this conversation, Jason just picked up Van Jefferson because of Cooper Kupp's injury.
Mm-hmm.
So,
man, dude, what a snake!
Yeah.
How long is Kelce supposed to be out for?
I think just this game.
Just this game. I mean, it's a knee bruise. So
the other thing I'm concerned about on this roster for issues needed is what kind of long-term production are you going to get out of Tony Pollard? You know, is he really a running back 1, or is he just a really good running back 2 because Ezekiel Elliott takes off enough hits that when he's got his fresh legs out there, he looks really good?
Couldn't you say the same thing for Mattison for the Vikings, though?
Except Pollard looks a lot better than Madison when he's out there, in my opinion. Like I think the gap between Pollard and Madison is not like huge, but I think it's enough where like it makes sense that they're going to roll with Pollard. I'm a little bit leery about the Vikings actually trying to run with Madison.
So I think this matchup is in Zappel's hands.
I think so. I think
Jason's always been good in this league, though. So like he may have a bad week 1, but come championship time, he may be right in the thick of things.
Unless we see like DeAndre Hopkins just go off, like that's the only like major X factor I can see. That or George Pickens, him and Kenny Pickett, going off. I mean, those are the only two kind of X factors. In terms of running backs, I think Zappo's got it. I think in terms of quarterbacks, I think Zappo's got it. Tight end, Zappo's got it. Flex, I think it's just a matter of what we're going to see out of that combination, of that new combination. And then defense, I mean, it's the Steelers versus the Jets. I'm going to go with the Steelers.
So probably want to watch a football game here soon. It starts at 7:20, so probably like 10 minutes. This is my matchup. We haven't gone through my matchup yet.
Let's do it.
Jalen Hurts up. That's pretty good.
Hurts against Tua.
Mm-hmm.
I know my running backs are weak. Miles Sanders, Khalil Herbert.
I mean, the only thing I don't like about your running backs is that you have a player out of Chicago, and it's because he's not that good at throwing the ball. You're going to get a lot of early outs, and that's going to limit how many offensive plays you're going to run, which is going to limit how many offensive snaps your running back out of Chicago is going to have to begin with. And so that's my only concern, is he going to get as many good snaps, not just like, oh, we're on another 3rd and 10 again. Here's another 2-yard run because we didn't do anything on the first 2 downs. Other than that, like, is he going to get any real quality snaps? That's my only concern with starting anybody out of Chicago is their offense it's terrible. They're just I'm sorry. I hope there's no Chicago fans here, but
there are.
We're going to be expanding to Illinois now.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
So my only thing I don't like about my team right now, and it's an easy play because I have him at the flex, is Mike Evans. I like Evans as a player. I don't like Baker, though. So
Baker, I think, is going to be a pretty solid quarterback. When he played for the Rams for those last few games, he looked good. I'm not going to count anything that happened in Carolina against him because that team has been a hot mess for the last 4 years. That's just my thought on it.
But hey, Dustin, if you're watching though, yeah, I'm gonna beat you this week. But I do think in the long term, your team does have legs. I think Bijan might be great. Garrett Wilson's gonna be Aaron's #1 target. Ridley's gonna have a bounce back year after being gone for a few years. So, and then I actually like Washington's defense. So I'm killing you with kindness right now, Dustin.
I mean, the biggest one I don't like is Etnu Jr. Yeah, Travis. That's the only kind of.
So we're closing up here. You guys watching tonight's game?
No.
Yeah, I'll probably have it on.
John,
Probably.
You watching tonight's game?
Bit on.
A little bit. Well, I mean, Chris, you have Mahomes. You stole them from us. So
He'll do what he does if I watch or not.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say the Lions are gonna beat the Chiefs, 38-24.
I'm wearing the Chiefs jersey right now, but Nora and I had a conversation earlier, and I said that Detroit's gonna win 31-24. So
a lot of my buddies are from Michigan, and they would love for that to happen.
I think we're going to see some great things out of Detroit this year. I think that they're going to go pretty deep in the playoffs. Honestly, I think they're going to make playoffs, and I think they're going to surprise a lot of teams out there.
I see them being a wild card, and that's just because I'm a Vikings fan. So I think the Vikings want to win the North.
I think Michigan is going to win. I think Detroit, they're going to win the NFC North. I think it's their year. I think they got what it takes.
So are you guys planning to watch any games this week?
I'm going to watch the game tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to watch whatever's on and available.
All right.
I'm always multitasking, having not doing something else.
So Nora's coming home with chicken wings in like 5 minutes. So it's kind
Ooh. What from where?
B-Dubs is right down the.
Gross. You're good.
So, what was that?
Nothing.
That's too much for my stomach. I can't eat there anymore.
I said gross. No, you got time. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just pop a couple of Tums. You'll be okay. You'll power through.
So yeah, the plan is to at 6:00 every Thursday before kickoff for all of us to be talking, being here talking crap to each other, talking about how I have the best team in the league.
About how the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl.
You got to figure out some noises and graphics. I'm not happy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like this is week 1. This is the hiccups.
You need like a boiled chicken graphic.
Seriously. I like StreamYard. StreamYard allows a lot of that to actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
So, I just knew this is week 1, the draft recap, the matchups. So, let us know what you guys like too. We will be adding more, and if you guys don't play fantasy, if you don't play fantasy, you want to come on and talk comics, we'll be here every Thursday.
It's true.
Well, let's go around and let's each say one quick thing about our favorite thing about our teams that we drafted. Just one hot topic.
That's it.
John, you're receiving court.
I like that I have depth actually this season. Like I actually have a bench that like I can pop in players for more than a week at a time.
Chris, is your team the worst?
No.
Actually, Chris's team's coming in second, supposedly. So, yeah, Chris, what do you like about your team?
I chose both of my quarterbacks to be spiteful towards other people at the draft.
You did.
I chose Pat Mahomes to spite Nora and Kyle, and then I took the Seahawks, Geno Smith from Johnny.
I wasn't gonna take him because I already had.
You're like.
I was gonna take Joey B because that's my fantasy guy.
Jericho
really annoyed the shit out of me taking Joey B, and that was salty.
He waited.
I wish it was one of those. I wish we were playing like, what do they call it, where it's like the keeper rule or whatever. Because Joey B would still be mine, and none of you guys have him.
Oh, Dynasty.
Nice.
Yeah.
But God, that was a salty move by Jericho.
I mean, he also drafted AP. So.
AP, Adrian Peterson?
Yeah, remember his very last pick? He drafted Adrian Peterson.
And he said he was going to come for you specifically. He said he's coming for you.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson had his last, I think, game as the Seahawks, I think.
Yeah, he had one snap with one game. Seahawks.
So we get to have him in the Hall of Fame as the Seahawks, not as a Vikings player.
John,
that's how it works.
No.
That's how you guys want. Hey, all I want to say is I agree with you, but that's exactly what people were saying about Brett Favre. So you guys need to calm down. You need to have it one way or the other, because all my Vikings fans that I knew back in high school when Brett Favre was around were like, he needs to retire in the Hall of Fame as a Vikings, not as a Green Bay player. It's like, that's nonsense. He played 2 seasons. Calm down.
He had his best year there with the Vikings.
Did he win the Super Bowl? So it's not the best year. Sorry.
Well, Bounty Gate.
Careful.
I don't know. Bounty Gate, whatever gate. I'm just saying, like, If you get to claim Brett Favre, I get to claim Adrian Peterson as another Seahawks player.
Well,
So that's how it works.
Right now, we're not claiming Favre right now.
Okay. All right.
But you asked favorite thing about the team. I think having JJ and St. Brown as my receivers is my favorite thing. So, and Jalen Hurts as a QB starting.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing. I mean, obviously quarterbacks are usually like great, but I think Jalen Hurts is probably going to be a top 4 quarterback in fantasy this year. Because he's just going to QB sneak his way into like so many touchdowns. It's going to be stupid.
So, I think it's time for us to end this right now. Thank you, Chris, Johnny, and John, which is really hard to say.
Wow, 3 names.
Well, hopefully we get Jericho and Jordan and Austin and Jason.
Clear your schedule. There's a writer strike. Once we get these chicken graphics, you guys will be invested. You wait.
Hey, I plan on spending this weekend getting stuff ready for this next week.
John's like, sorry, the Kennelly is like, dang it.
Well,
look, my boiled chicken idea is a good one. We'll talk about it next week, though.
John Palm has no clue what you're talking about right now.
Next
He's
week,
gonna, man.
He's
He's
show
gonna.
up in a white pinstripe.
We'll slowly immerse John into several of my business plans.
On that note, John, we are sorry. Good night, everybody. Hope you enjoy the game and see you at the comic shop.
Take it easy, everybody.